Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Let's begin with your doubts. I have one doubt already, which says in question number one, last line, the is only for acknowledgement of or relevant from examination perspective. SA 501. If you can please explain this question a bit more in detail or properly, I can explain that to you properly. Right, so please do that. Till then, let's try and go to a new standard on auditing SA 510. Let us go to a new standard on auditing, SA 250, consideration of law and regulations in an audit of financial statements. Consideration of law and regulations in an audit of financial statements. Consideration of law and regulations in an audit of financial statements. Okay. Now this this standard on auditing will be very simple for you to understand since we have already done litigations and claims yesterday, right? So still we will study it in detail. I will give you some practical examples in order for you to understand it carefully, right? So please pay attention. This is also a good standard to understand, though a lot of questions are not asked from this standard auditing. However, the institute can surprise you anytime with any kind of questions. So I request you to focus and pay full attention on SA 250, the heading of which is consideration of law and regulations in an audit of financial statements. Right, come to question number one. Now, before we come to question number one, let me first explain to you the base of this standard on auditing. So we are doing SA 250, which is consideration of law and regulations in an audit of financial statements. So what will you consider? You will consider law and regulations. वो किसकी बात कर रहा है? आपको law और regulations देखने पड़ेंगे. कब? Audit करते वक्त. In audit of financial statements. So you will consider law, you will consider regulations in doing what? In doing the audit of financial statements. Right, now why law and regulations is important? Again, the answer will be the same. One, if you have non-compliance, it may lead to penalty, or if you have any kind of non-compliance, it may lead to penalty, or it may lead to affect your going concern assumption. It may lead to either penalty or going concern assumption. So as the auditor, it is your duty to understand which law and regulations are applicable to the entity. Which law and regulations are applicable to the entity. That I'm writing over here. Please understand that the auditor must understand. Right, so you will have to understand as the auditor as to which law and regulation are applicable to the entity. Once you understand that, only then you will be able to check the compliance with the same. Right, okay. If this is clear to you, I have one question to you. Say for example, you all are conducting the audit of a restaurant. Let's take, say for example, Have More restaurant. Can you all write on the chat box and tell me which laws and regulations are applicable to this restaurant? Can you all tell me which laws and regulations are applicable to have more restaurant? Everyone on your chat box. What do you think? Which laws and regulations are applicable? Okay, so someone is saying service. I don't think service is service a law or regulation. Aman, if you can explain that in detail. How is law? How is service a law or a regulation related to food quality? What is the law that is applicable? My question to you is, I'm putting that question again to you. Which law and regulation are applicable? Which law and regulations are applicable? Okay, one I can see, there is something known as Food Safety Act. Okay, we can still consider that Food Safety Act. uh FSSAI, okay, that is a proper law that you have to follow, so I'm listing over here for you. FSSAI. You can also take Food Safety Act. What else? What else? There is no such law for employee cleanliness. Okay, you can have GST, so you will of course have GST. What about food standards? Okay, safety standards we've already covered. Can I say they also will have to follow the Income Tax Act? If they have a certain number of employee, if they have certain number of employees, they will also have to follow PF and ESIC Act. They will have to follow the Provident Fund Act. Okay, one more question I have to each one of you. Okay, so we have roughly tried to understand four different types of law or regulations, which according to us will have to be followed by a restaurant that we are conducting an audit of. Now I have a different question to you. Please pay attention to what I'm asking you. Have you studied the Bonus Act? Have you studied the Bonus Act? Okay. Have you studied the Gratuity Act? Okay. Have you studied the Companies Act? Okay. Have you also studied the Partnership Act? Not in intermediate, but of course, somewhere earlier you would have studied. Okay. Can someone tell me on the group to have more? Partnership Act is applicable or Companies Act? Can someone tell me? Whenever you reply, please think and tell me. Spruva, how can you say that Companies Act is applicable? How can you say that Companies Act is applicable? Okay, you think. Are you sure? Are you sure? Spruha, are you sure whether it is a company, a limited company, a private limited company or a partnership firm or an LLP or a proprietorship firm? Are you sure about it? Yes or no? Okay, you're not sure. Okay, I have one answer which says it depends whether it is a company or a firm. Okay, Raj, can you tell me it depends whether it is company or a firm? How can you ensure whether it is company or firm? How can you ensure whether it is a company or a firm? कैसे पता चलेगा हमको whether it is a company or a firm? You said it depends whether it is a company or a firm. I have a question to everyone. How will you come to know whether it is company or a firm? So Siddharth, you said ownership. Siddharth, do you mean you need to check the ownership? Is that what you mean? Okay, you can come to know by the contents of the financial statements. Siddharth says, yes, we'll have to check the ownership structure. And Spruva says by the content of financial statements. Raj says by its constitution. Okay, perfect. Everyone is correct. Now my question to you is, how will you come to know what is the constitution? How will you come to know the ownership structure? How will you come to know the contents of the financial statements? Common sense question. Don't apply the knowledge of audit. Knowledge of audit, I will teach you how to apply. Right now, I am asking you common sense questions. आपको कैसे पता चलेगा कि वो पार्टनरशिप है, सोल प्रोप्राइटरशिप है? You will have to check. You will have to ask the management. Okay, you will go and ask the management that okay, the management will say we are a company. The management will say we are a company. Raj, if you ask the management and the management says we are a company, will you believe them directly? If you will not believe them, then what will you do? If you do not believe them, what will you do? We will ask for legal documents. Exactly. Now, please pay attention. When you go to the for an audit, please remember this. Please pay attention to what I'm saying. Very important point I'm telling you. And whatever I'm saying is recognized by audit, and that is why they have this guidance for all the auditors. So please pay attention. Whenever you go to conduct the audit, whenever you go to conduct the audit, you will never know everything about the client. You may be a very experienced auditor, you may be a very senior auditor, you may be very experienced, you may be very knowledgeable, but you will not know everything about the client. When you begin the audit, you will not know everything about the client when you begin the audit. जब आप ऑडिट शुरू करोगे तो आपको क्लाइंट के बारे में सब कुछ पता नहीं होगा. आपको क्या करना पड़ेगा? You will have to obtain knowledge of the client's business. आपको क्लाइंट के बिजनेस का पूरा नॉलेज obtain करना पड़ेगा. After you obtain the knowledge of the client's business, it is then and only then you will come to know whether you have whether which law is applicable, what is the organization structure, who are the directors, who are the partners, who is the sole proprietor. All this information you will not know at the beginning of the audit. You will come to know only after you obtain proper knowledge of the client's business. How can you obtain proper knowledge of the client's business? First source is check their website. Second source is you can obtain information from the management. Whatever you obtain information from the management, you will always check the legal documents. So when you see the legal documents, in those legal documents, it is already mentioned that what laws and regulations does a company have to follow. What laws and regulations does a sole proprietor have to follow? What laws and regulations does a partnership have to follow? So you will have all these information, then you will look into the organization and try to find out what kind of organization it is. And when you find out what kind of organization it is, It is at that point of time when you come to know that what form of organization it is. It is at that point of time when you will ensure and you will try to find out which are the laws and regulations that are applicable. Once you know what are the laws and regulations that are applicable, only and only then you will be able to apply the laws and regulations and check their compliance. जब तक आपको ये पता नहीं चलेगा प्रैक्टिकली कि इस कंपनी को कौन से रूल्स रेगुलेशंस लॉस फॉलो करने हैं, तब तक आप वो कोई डिसीजन ले नहीं पाओगे कि क्या वो सारे रूल्स फॉलो कर रहे हैं या नहीं कर रहे. Are you understanding what I'm trying to say? You will be able to follow the law, the rules and the regulations only and only when you know which rules are applicable to them. And how can you obtain the knowledge of the rules applicable to them? Only when you understand the organization and you obtain information about the organization. Are you getting it? Okay, if you're clear with this, let's go to the next step. मान लो आपको पता चल गया कि it is a company. मान लो आपको पता चल गया it is a company. Can someone tell me, if I am only a company not having any shares, not listed anywhere, I am just a small company. Can you tell me which act is applicable to the company? Can everyone or can someone tell me which act is applicable to the company? I am a small company. I do trading. Everyone is correct. Which law is applicable? Companies Act 2013 is applicable. Okay. Everyone. Second question to you. If I am a company, I do manufacturing, which means I have a factory. Can you tell me, apart from Companies Act, again, I have no shares, nothing. Can someone help me? Which act along with the Companies Act will be applicable to me? Okay, everyone agrees? Companies Act plus Factory Act. So I'm writing over here. Company Act plus Factory Act. Okay, so which act is applicable to me? Companies Act plus Factory Act. Okay. Third question. So I have 4 questions to you. We have reached the third question. I am a company which is manufacturing, which means I have a factory and I do exports. So Companies Act, Factory Act plus which other act is applicable to me? I am into exports and imports both. So apart from the Companies Act, apart from the Factories Act, which other act is also applicable to me? Customs. Customs Act. What else? FEMA. Okay, excellent. So which means, can I say, as the nature of the organization changes, as the nature of the company changes, the laws that are applicable also change. If I say that as the nature of the company changes, the laws also change. You agree with me, yes or no? As the nature of the company changes, the laws and regulations also change. Is the answer to this yes or no? Everyone agrees to this? जैसे जैसे कंपनी का नेचर चेंज होगा, कंपनी की एक्टिविटीज चेंज होगी, उस कंपनी को एप्लीकेबल लॉज भी चेंज होंगे. ओके, नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, प्लीज पे अटेंशन. I have a small provision store. the basic act applicable to me will be applicable. जो भी बेसिक एक्ट है, मेरा एक छोटा सा प्रोविजन स्टोर है, कुछ ज्यादा नहीं है, सिंपल प्रोविजन स्टोर, कस्टमर बाहर खड़े रहता है, मैं उसको प्रोडक्ट बेचता हूँ, फिर वो चले जाता है, वो हमारे स्टोर के अंदर नहीं आता. We don't have a big provision, or we don't have a super store. We have a small store where we have the base, where basic act will be applicable. Do you think any special act will be applicable over here? Do you think any special act will be applicable to me? No. Okay, now pay attention. Now pay attention. If everyone says no, I agree with you. Now pay attention. If I sell firecrackers, if I sell firecrackers, do I have to obtain special permission, or do I need some special care to be taken? Yes, I need to take care of the safety measures. I need to take care of the safety measures. Are you getting it? So in that case, I will have to ensure that I am taking all the safety measures, and this act, this laws, this regulation pertaining to safety measures, I have ensured, because that is the law or regulation that is applicable to me. Are you understanding? That is the law or regulation which is applicable to me. Let's take another example. Last example, then we go to the concept. Let's take one more example. If I am running again a provision store and someone asks me for a product, will I tell them, get it in writing? Only then I will sell it to you. Understand the example. मतलब अगर मान लीजिए कोई मुझसे एक FMCG प्रोडक्ट का पैकेट मांगता है, वो मुझे कहता है कि 10 साबुन के पैकेट दो. सपोज someone asks me for 10 packets of soap. Will I tell him कि नहीं नहीं, किसी से लिखवा के आओ तो ही मैं दूंगा? Yes or no on your chat box? Of course not. You will not say that. However, if I am a chemist and someone is asking for a drug or a medicine which needs prescription, can I sell without prescription? Can I sell without prescription? No. Law is applicable. Are you understanding? In that case, a law is applicable to me, and it is my duty in that case to adhere to the law and regulation that is there. Are you understanding? So I will have to adhere to the laws and regulations in that case. Are you understanding? Okay. One more question. One more last thing. What is the meaning of non-compliance? Let me explain that to you. Non-compliance means you do something or you do not do something. Both can lead to non-compliance. आप कुछ करोगे तो भी हो सकता है आप नॉन कंप्लायंस कर रहे हो, आप कुछ नहीं करते तो भी हो सकता है आप नॉन कंप्लायंस कर रहे हो. आई विल गिव यू एन एग्जांपल. मान लो मैंने आपको कहा कि आपको रजिस्ट्रेशन करवा के लाइसेंस लेना पड़ेगा, फिर ही आप बिजनेस कर सकते हो. आप विदाउट लाइसेंस बिल करते, मतलब देयर इज समथिंग दैट यू डू नॉट डू, it will lead to non-compliance. I tell you, please do not do pollution. You do pollution. You do something leads to non-compliance. Are you understanding? Which means I cannot tell you कि ये list है और ये लिस्ट के हिसाब से आप सारे लॉज अप्लाई करो. आई कैनॉट टेल यू दैट, because the important point that we have been discussing since the past 10 minutes is that laws and regulations ki applicability changes based on the nature of the law, the nature of the organization that you have, the type of the products or services that you are selling, and the regulatory environment in which you are there. Right? If the regulatory environment will also decide whether which laws and regulations are applicable to you. Are you understanding? Which means whenever you go to an organization, you will have to obtain information pertaining to every law and regulation that is applicable to them. If you obtain information about every law and regulation that is applicable to them, only then and only then you will understand कि इनको ये law applicable है. जब आपको पता चलेगा कि इनको ये law और ये regulation applicable है, तभी आप check कर पाओगे कि उसका compliance या non compliance क्या करता है. जब कोई लॉ आप पढ़ते हो तो आपको उसकी पेनल्टी प्रोविजंस भी पता होनी चाहिए कि अगर हम इस लॉ को फॉलो नहीं करेंगे तो कंपनी को क्या पेनल्टी होगी, क्या प्रॉब्लम होगी. That is also something which is an integral part of understanding the law and regulation pertaining to an organization. Are you understanding? Right? I hope that is absolutely clear to you. Now, if that is clear to you, let's go to our concept. If you have any doubts, quickly post it on the chat box so that I can solve it for you. So I'm giving you a minute. Quickly post your doubts. And also let me know, is this basic concept clear to you? The example that I gave you, is this basic concept clear to you? Everyone quickly on your chat box, are you able to understand this basic concept? Okay, since you're clear with this, let's go to essay 250. Right? ध्यान देना, एक एक point ढंग से पढ़ते हैं and we try to understand what you have to do as the auditor to ensure compliance with law and regulation. Come to essay 250. The heading says consideration of law and regulations in an audit of financial statements. मतलब हमको law और regulation को ध्यान में लेना है. कब ध्यान में लेना है? When you conduct an audit of financial statements. The first question, pay attention. What is the meaning of the term non-compliance with reference to law and regulation? So what is the term non-compliance with law and regulations means? मतलब सबसे पहले वो ये पूछ रहे हैं कि नॉन कंप्लायंस का मीनिंग क्या होता है. दूसरी बात, व्हाट इज द ऑडिटर्स ड्यूटी इन रिलेशन टू द सेम. मतलब एक ही क्वेश्चन के अंदर उन्होंने आपको दो क्वेश्चन पूछे हैं. पहला क्वेश्चन वो पूछ रहे हैं कि नॉन कंप्लायंस का मीनिंग क्या होता है. दूसरा क्वेश्चन वो आपसे ये पूछ रहे हैं कि व्हाट इज द ऑडिटर्स ड्यूटी इन रिलेशन टू द सेम. ओके, ध्यान देना. इट सेज नॉन कंप्लायंस मींस act of omission. Underline the word omission. Omission means you do not do something. When you do not do something, it is known as omission. So underline that. Act of omission or commission by the entity, whether intentional or unintentional. Underline the word commission. Commission means do something. Omission means you do not do something. Commission means you do something. Right? ध्यान देना. It means something which you omit or something which you do जानबूझ के या गलती से, which means intentional or unintentional, which is contrary to the prevailing law and regulation. Okay, let's put this as your note. So everyone quickly take your notebook and let's put the notes to this. So what is the meaning of non-compliance? It can be omission, it can be commission, it can be intentional, it can be unintentional, and it has to be contrary to the law and regulations. When you have this, you call this as non-compliance, right? Very important definition, very important for true or false. So please note this. Please write this definition in your notebook as your notes. Copy this definition. Then we go to the next part. So what is your non-compliance? Non-compliance means you have an act of omission, an act of commission, whether it may be intentional or unintentional, and it has to be contrary to the law and regulations. Then it is known as non-compliance. Right? Okay, let's move to the next one then. The objective of the auditor are, okay, now it's time to prepare some important notes. So let's put that objectives of the auditor as per SA 250. Dhyan dena, what are the objectives of the auditor? First objective, it means the auditor needs to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence regarding compliance with. So obtain sufficient and appropriate audit evidence regarding compliance with first provisions of those laws and regulations generally recognized to have a direct effect on the determination of material amounts and disclosures in the financial statements. Okay, let's try and understand this. You must obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence regarding compliance with the laws and regulations having direct effect, very important words, having direct effect on the financial statements, having direct effect on determination of material amounts and disclosures in the financial statements. मतलब कैसा impact होगा? Direct impact होगा. Underline the word direct effect. Okay, let's understand this with the help of an example. Say for example, let's take the same example. I am an importer. In order to import, I need import license. Right? If I need import license and I also have to follow the FEMA Act. If I do not follow the FEMA Act, it will directly affect the operations of my organization. And since it will directly affect the operations of my organization, it is said to have direct effect. Are you understanding? It is said to have direct effect. Say for example, I sell some drug. Now drug means a medical drug. If I sell a medical drug without license, it will have direct effect on the organization. It will have what? It will have direct effect on the organization. Are you getting it? हमारी organization पे इसका direct impact आएगा और क्योंकि इसका direct impact आएगा, I call it pertains to direct effect on the financial statements. सबसे पहले ऑडिटर को क्या करना है, उसको देखना है कि कौन से लॉ और रेगुलेशन का हमारे ऑर्गेनाइजेशन पे डायरेक्ट इम्पैक्ट आता है. जो भी लॉ या रेगुलेशन का हमारे ऑर्गेनाइजेशन पे डायरेक्ट इम्पैक्ट आता है, वो सारे लॉ, वो सारे ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, वो सारे रूल्स, सारे रेगुलेशंस हमको प्रॉपर्ली कंप्लाई करने. राइट, हमको करना है मतलब मैनेजमेंट को कंप्लाई करना है। ऑडिटर को क्या करना है, ही मस्ट ऑब्टेन sufficient appropriate audit evidence. So see, again important point I am writing over here. Who will do the compliance? The compliance will be done by the management. Who will do the compliance? The compliance will be done completely by the management. What will the auditor do? He will check the compliance. वो काम कौन करेगा? वो काम आप करेंगे, ऑडिटर। Are you understanding? Again, सबसे पहले हमने क्या पढ़ा था क्वेश्चन में? What is the term non-compliance? Non-compliance means act of omission, commission, intentional, unintentional, which is contrary to the prevailing laws and regulations. Second point, what is the objective of the auditor? 250 में ऑडिटर का ऑब्जेक्टिव क्या है? पहला ऑडिटर का ऑब्जेक्टिव ये है कि हमको sufficient appropriate audit evidence obtain करना है। किस चीज का? उन लॉ और रेगुलेशन का जो क्या है, ऑर्गेनाइजेशन पे डायरेक्ट इफेक्ट रखते हैं, which are generally recognized to have direct effect on the determination of material amounts and disclosures in the financial statement। मतलब ये डिस्क्लोजर तो हमको मैंडेटरीली फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट में देना पड़ेगा। क्यों? क्योंकि ये लॉ या रेगुलेशन हमारे ऑर्गेनाइजेशन पे डायरेक्ट इम्पैक्ट करते हैं। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, लेट अस टेक वन मोर एग्जाम्पल। इफ आई एम अ कंपनी, so which is the law which has a direct impact to me? The Companies Act 2013. So Companies Act 2013 has what? It has a direct impact on my organization. Are you getting it? I am again repeating for you. First, what is the first objective of the auditor? To obtain sufficient and appropriate audit evidence regarding compliance with law and regulation that is having a direct effect on the financial statements. Are you getting it? Okay, let's go to the second point then. दूसरा, ऑडिटर को क्या करना पड़ेगा? To perform specified audit procedures to help identify instances of non-compliance with other laws and regulations that may have a material effect on the financial statements. Let's understand that. Second, क्या करना पड़ेगा? Perform audit procedures. क्या करेंगे हम? We will perform audit procedures to identify the instances of non-compliance with, very important word, with other laws and regulations. Identify non-compliance with other laws and regulations which may have a material effect on the financial statement. So I'm writing over here, having material impact on the financial statements. Are you getting it? Again, your first point. Objective, the first objective of the auditor is to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence regarding compliance with law and regulation having direct effect on the financial statements. Second, perform additional procedures pertaining to other laws and regulations that also have a material effect on the financial statements. Say, for example, Pollution Act 2013. It may not have a direct impact. It may have indirect impact. Are you getting it? It may have indirect impact on the organization. क्योंकि हमारे लॉ को डायरेक्टली पोल्यूशन एक्ट एप्लीकेबल नहीं है, लेकिन इनडायरेक्टली कहीं ना कहीं से पोल्यूशन एक्ट, अगर हम पोल्यूशन कर रहे हैं तो पोल्यूशन एक्ट विल अगेन कम टू अस, सो वी विल हैव टू टेक केयर ऑफ दैट, राइट? सो अगेन इट डायरेक्टली इफेक्ट्स your, it somewhere affects your organization, so you'll also have to take care of the other laws and regulations that are applicable to the organization. Are you getting it? Come to the next point. To respond appropriately to non-compliance or suspected non-compliance with law and regulation identified during the audit. So that's your third point. You will respond appropriately to non-compliance with laws and regulations. What will you do? You will respond appropriately. मतलब अगर आपको पता चला कि नॉन कंप्लायंस हो रहा है तो कैसे ऑडिटर को उस मैटर से डील करना है, that is also the objective of SA 250. Right? So which means there are three important objectives of SA 250. The first objective is to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence regarding compliance with laws and regulations that have a direct effect on the financial statement. Second important point, you will perform additional audit procedures to identify the instances of non-compliance on other laws and regulations having direct impact on the financial statement. And third, you will respond appropriately to non-compliance with the laws and regulations. Right? Let's see what example they have given. Dhyan dena. Accounting standards not complied with, deposit acceptance rules not complied with, etc. Some laws are so stringent that non-compliance may lead to end of going concern. Hence, it is important for the auditor not only to verify the financial information, but also any significant non-compliance with laws and regulations. So there are some laws which can lead to affecting your going concern. देखो वो हमने यहाँ पे पहले ही पढ़ा था. It can lead to affecting your going concern assumption. So there are some laws that if you do not follow them, straight away your business will be sealed, your business will be closed. In that case, it is important for you to understand that these laws and regulations, if not complied with, can affect your going concern assumption. So that is why it is very important for the auditor to obtain sufficient and appropriate audit evidence and ensure whether these major laws and regulations have been properly complied. Right? Okay, come to the next point. Following are the duties of the auditor as per SA 250. Okay, let's come to that point now. Next point. Duties of the auditor. Okay, before I go to duties of the auditor, let me first understand from you. Are you clear with this? Objectives of the auditor? Any doubts in this? Are you clear with the objectives of the auditor? Is everyone clear with the objectives of the auditor? Quickly on your chat box. Are you clear with the objectives of the auditor? If there are any doubts, if you want me to repeat any topic, please tell me. I'll do that for you. Okay, so there is one doubt which tells me please repeat the third objective. Let me go back to the third objective. Third objective says the auditor should respond appropriately to non-compliance or suspected non-compliance with law and regulations identified during the audit. Okay, so Khushi has asked me this question, and even Akshay. So Khushi, I have a question to you. If you can answer it on the chat box. Say for example, you are conducting the audit of the company. You are conducting the audit of a company. When you enter the company tells you that we have to follow the FEMA Act. But somewhere you doubt that they are not following the FEMA Act. You doubt, right? Please mark my words. You doubt they are not following the FEMA Act. My question to you, Khushi, is what will you do? Common sense question. बहुत audit के concepts को याद मत करना. Common sense question. अगर आपको पता चला क्या एक कंपनी ये लॉ फॉलो नहीं करे तो आप क्या करेंगे? My question to you is, if you come to know that some company that you're conducting the audit of is somewhere not following the FEMA Act which they should follow, in that case what will you do? आपको डाउट है, आपको कंफर्म नहीं है कि वो नहीं फॉलो कर रहा, आपको डाउट है, आप क्या करेंगे? दैट इज माय क्वेश्चन टू यू. Right. So Khushi, if you can please explain that to me. That what if you come to know that a company is not following a particular law that it should follow? You will discuss with the management. Okay, what will you discuss with the management? I'm again repeating. Please understand. You have a doubt. आपको लगता है कि फॉलो नहीं कर रहे हैं, आपको लगता है, तो आप क्या करेंगे? What will you do? Okay, if I may ask you an easier question, right? Please pay attention. Suppose if you teach audit, right? Please pay attention. If you teach audit and after teaching you feel that I have not studied, you feel you have a doubt. आपको ऐसा डाउट है कि मैं आज क्लास में पढ़ के नहीं आया हूँ. You have a doubt that I have not studied. What will you do? आपको डाउट है, आपको पक्का नहीं पता है. So what will you do in that case? Can I say you will ask me questions? Okay, excellent. You will ask me questions. If I answer properly, will your doubt go? My question to you is, आपको डाउट है मैं पढ़ के नहीं आया हूँ, आप मुझसे क्वेश्चन पूछेंगे. अगर मैंने आपके क्वेश्चन का आंसर दे दिया तो फिर आपका डाउट चले जाएगा. यस. If I am not able to answer your question, will your doubt become stronger? If I am not able to answer your question, will your doubt become stronger, or will you become more confident that yes, what I've done is correct? Exactly. Now what happens is same thing applies in audit. Please samajhna, same thing applies in audit. You have a doubt that the management does not follow FEMA Act. You have a doubt that the management does not follow Foreign Exchange Management Regulation Act or Foreign Exchange Management Act. You have a doubt. When you have a doubt, you will check whether all provisions are complied with or not. If all provisions are complied with, your doubt is removed. If they are not complied with, your doubt turns into a reality. कि actually ऐसा है, जो मुझे doubt था वही हुआ. Which means this is the auditor's response to check in detail is the auditor's response to suspected non-compliance. हमको सस्पेक्ट था, हमको डाउट था कि शायद नॉन कंप्लायंस हो रहा है. तो जब भी सस्पेक्शन हो, सस्पिशन हो, तो ऑडिटर को क्या करना चाहिए? उसको चेक करना चाहिए डिटेल में कि क्या ऐसा सही है. उसको चेक करना चाहिए कि क्या वो लॉ एक्चुअली फॉलो हो रहा है. अगर वो फॉलो हो रहा है तो ऑटोमेटिकली ऑडिटर का डाउट हट जाएगा. अगर वो फॉलो नहीं हो रहा है तो ऑडिटर का डाउट विल टर्न इनटू अ रियलिटी. Are you clear with this? So Khushi and Akshay, you had a doubt in point number 3. I hope you are now clear with this. Okay, excellent. Right, if you have any more doubts, please let me know. But remember this basically. हमको थर्ड केस में क्या करना है? अगर हमको लगता है कि लॉ फॉलो नहीं किया तब मैनेजमेंट से जाके बात करनी है. लेकिन अगर हमें आज डाउट है कि शायद लॉ फॉलो नहीं हो रहा, then in that case we have to perform additional procedures. See, remember everyone, please, you cannot go to the management without sufficient appropriate audit evidence. You have to go to them with some audit evidence कि देखो ऐसा हमको मिला है, हमको डाउट है, अब आप हमको आंसर दो. आप ऐसे ही हवा में तीर नहीं मार सकते कि इन्होंने लॉ तो नहीं फॉलो किया होगा, ऐसा मैं अज्यूम कर रहा हूँ और जाके मैनेजमेंट से डिस्कस करता हूँ, that would be wrong. Your credibility will reduce in front of the management, so you cannot do that, right? Okay, if that is clear to everyone, let's go to the next one, which is what are the duties of the auditor as per SA 250. Let's understand that. Following are the duties of the auditor as per SA 250. Let's try and understand that. Duties of the auditor. First, duty to understand the entity's environment and to obtain general understanding. So first duty of the auditor, जो हमने पहले पढ़ा, मैंने आपको पहले ही पूछा हैव मोर को कौन सा लॉ एप्लीकेबल है, आपने बहुत सारे एक्ट बताए, फिर मैंने पूछा कंपनीज एक्ट या पार्टनरशिप एक्ट, आपने बोला सर वो तो पता नहीं है, जाके हमको पूछना पड़ेगा, उनके लीगल डॉक्यूमेंट्स चेक करने पड़ेंगे, उनके मैनेजमेंट से पूछना पड़ेगा, उनके पिछले साल के फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स चेक करने पड़ेंगे, तब पता चलेगा कंपनीज एक्ट है या पार्टनरशिप एक्ट है. सेम पॉइंट यहाँ पे है. You have to understand the entity's environment and obtain general understanding. So first, understand the entity's environment and obtain general understanding about first, legal and regulatory framework applicable to the entity and the industry or sector to which it operates. So हमको क्या क्या समझना पड़ेगा, ध्यान देना. First, we will have to try and understand the legal and regulatory framework applicable to the entity. B, industry or sector to which it belongs. Right, industry or sector to which it belongs. सबसे पहली ड्यूटी क्या है? Understand the entity's environment and obtain general understanding about first, legal and regulatory framework applicable to the entity, and second, industry or sector to which it operates, and how the entity is complying with the framework. Third, how the organization is complying with the framework. Okay, ध्यान देना, example समझते हैं. Say for example, I go to conduct an audit of A Limited. A Limited is my client. Please ध्यान देना, practical example दे रहा हूँ. I go to conduct the audit of A Limited. I do not know what business A Limited is into. सिर्फ मुझे इतना पता है कि क्योंकि ये कंपनी लिमिटेड कंपनी है, दिस इज अ पब्लिक कंपनी. मैंने ये पता कर लिया, दिस इज अ पब्लिक कंपनी, which means which is the legal and regulatory framework applicable? Companies Act 2013 and SEBI Act is applicable. इतना मुझे पता चल गया. इस कंपनी को कौन से एक्ट एप्लीकेबल है? कंपनीज एक्ट 2013 और सेबी एक्ट एप्लीकेबल है. फिर मैंने उनसे पूछा कि सर आप कौन सी सेक्टर को बिलोंग करते हैं, तो उन्होंने मुझे ये कहा कि हम मैन्युफैक्चरिंग सेक्टर को बिलोंग करते हैं. मैन्युफैक्चरिंग किस चीज का? मेडिसिन का, राइट? Can someone tell me which industry or sector do they belong to? Look at the question, look at my example and tell me to which industry or sector does my client belong to? Quickly on your chat box. Pharma sector? Everyone agrees? We are what? We are a pharma company. Right? Now, the moment I come to know we are a pharma company, we have to be careful that all the drugs act is applicable to us, which means a special act is applicable to us. Right? अब ध्यान देना, मेरा आपसे एक दूसरा क्वेश्चन है. एवरीवन ऑन योर चैट बॉक्स प्लीज अंडरस्टैंड. सबसे पहले मैंने पता कर लिया कि मुझे कौन सा लीगल और रेगुलेटरी फ्रेमवर्क एप्लीकेबल है। मुझे सब कुछ पढ़ के पता चला कि मुझे कंपनीज एक्ट और सेबी एप्लीकेबल है। सेकंड, मैंने पता किया मैं कौन से इंडस्ट्री या सेक्टर को बिलोंग करता हूँ। थर्ड, मुझे पता चला मैं फार्मास्यूटिकल इंडस्ट्री या फार्मा सेक्टर को बिलोंग करता हूँ। उसके बाद फोर्थ मुझे ये समझना है कि क्या हम किस फ्रेमवर्क को कंप्लाई कर रहे हैं और कैसे कंप्लाई कर रहे हैं। नाउ माय क्वेश्चन टू यू इज, if I have a regular business, a small business, a normal accountant having basic knowledge of accounts will do। एक छोटे बिजनेस को एक नॉर्मल अकाउंटेंट जिसको थोड़ा बहुत अकाउंटिंग आता है वो संभाल सकता है। क्या वो बेसिक अकाउंटेंट हमारी कंपनी के अकाउंट संभाल पाएगा? यस और नो ऑन द चैट बॉक्स। क्या वो फार्मा कंपनी जिसको सेबी एप्लीकेबल है, जो स्पेशल एक्ट एप्लीकेबल है, क्या वो संभाल पाएगा? नो। If I tell you, if I'm writing over here, basic accountant is taking care of the compliance, accountant has no experience, will you have a doubt that books may not be maintained properly? Yes or no on the chat box. Will you have a doubt? Yes, you will have a doubt. That is why it is important at the first place to understand how the organization is complying with that framework. If you have a chartered accountant taking care of this, he has full experience of pharma industry. You check with the compliance, all compliances are done properly. Then will your trust increase? Yes or no? Will your trust increase? Of course, yes, it will increase. Because now you have confidence कि ये जो चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट है वो सारे लॉज रेगुलेशंस जानता है, वो सारे कंप्लायंसेस जानता है, वो एजुकेटेड है, उसको सब नॉलेज है। ये बंदा इस कंपनी के अकाउंट्स को अच्छे से मेंटेन कर सकता है। विच मींस सबसे पहले समझना ये जरूरी है कि एक तो हमको कौन सा लीगल या रेगुलेटरी फ्रेमवर्क एप्लीकेबल है। तो हमको कंपनीज एक्ट और सेबी एप्लीकेबल। उसके बाद हमको ये पता चला कि हम कौन सी इंडस्ट्री को बिलोंग करते हैं। वी बिलोंग टू द फार्मास्यूटिकल इंडस्ट्री which manufactures medicine, which means the drugs act is applicable to us, a special act is applicable to us. In that case, we will have to understand that we need a fully experienced chartered accountant who knows whether all compliances are done or not. If that person is taking care of our organization work, then I don't think we should have any problem. We will have full confidence that the framework is being properly managed. Are you getting it? This is the first duty of the auditor. The first duty of the auditor is to understand the entity's environment and obtain a general understanding about three things. कौन सा law and regulation हमको applicable है, हम कौन से sector को belong करते हैं, और हमारा organization का framework कैसे comply हो. Are you getting it? Okay, after understanding this, come to the second point. Look at the second point that you have. The second point says it is the auditor's duty to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence. So let's put that duty to obtain sufficient and appropriate audit evidence. Duty to obtain sufficient and appropriate audit evidence. Okay, देखो किस चीज का? The auditor shall obtain sufficient and appropriate audit evidence regarding compliance with provisions of those laws and regulations that generally have a direct effect on the determination of material amounts and disclosures in the financial statements. अब ये तो हमने ऑब्जेक्टिव में भी पढ़ा था। इस केस में जो हमारा ऑब्जेक्टिव है वही हमारी ड्यूटी भी है, to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence regarding compliance with laws and regulations pertaining law and regulations having a direct effect on the financial statements. These are the laws and regulations which we have to be careful with. These are laws and regulations pertaining to which we need sufficient and appropriate audit evidence. Are you getting it? Okay. Let's come to point number 3. Third duty of the auditor. Third duty of the auditor is the duty to perform procedures. So third point, we have a duty to perform audit procedures. Duty to perform audit procedures. The auditor shall perform the following audit procedures to help identify instances of non-compliance with other laws and regulations. So हमको क्या करना पड़ेगा? We'll have to perform audit procedures ताकि हम ढूंढ सके कि इससे तो comply किया पर कहीं कोई और law या regulation छूट तो नहीं रहा है. So we will perform audit procedures to identify non-compliance with other laws and regulations. We will perform audit procedures to identify compliance or non-compliance with other law and regulations. How will you do that? First, inquire of the management and where appropriate those charged with governance as to whether there is compliance with such law or regulation. Again, everyone quickly on your chat box, what is the meaning of the word inquiry? कल ही पढ़ा था, परसों भी पढ़ा था हमने. What is the meaning of the word inquiry? Quickly, everyone on your chat box, what is the meaning of the word inquiry? We studied this yesterday. What is the meaning of the word inquiry? Quickly on your chat box. We studied this yesterday. You can't forget so early. What is the meaning of the word inquiry? Okay. It is getting information from knowledgeable people in the organization. So what will you do is you will inquire from the management regarding one, compliance with these laws, and second point, ध्यान देना. What's the second point? It says inspecting correspondences with relevant licensing and regulatory authorities. So inspect correspondence. Can someone tell me what is the meaning of the word inspection? कल ही पढ़ा था हमने. In fact, परसों पढ़ा था हमने. What is the meaning of the word inspection? On your chat box, can someone explain to me what is the meaning of the word inspection? What is the meaning of the word inspection? It's not witness a procedure's prove absolutely incorrect. Witnessing a procedure is observation. That's not correct. So that is absolutely wrong. Witnessing a procedure is not so. Is observation. It's not inspection. What is inspection? To check what? Inspection means to check what? Yes, you look at the records and the documents. So inspection means you want to check the records and the documents. So when you have to check the records and the documents, that is when you call inspection. So what will you inspect over here? Correspondences with licensing and regulatory authorities. Licensing and regulatory authorities. Right, so that's your third objective. third duty of the auditor. Let's understand these two duties quickly, and then I'll give you one example covering all the duties. Next point, duty to remain alert. Let's put the fourth point now. Understand all the 4 points carefully. If all the 5 points, if you understand them carefully, you will be easily able to relate with the example that I give you. इसलिए 4 points समझ लो, फिर जो मैं example दूंगा, आप easily you will be able to correlate with them. Fourth point, duty to remain alert. So auditor must remain alert. You have a duty to remain alert. Okay, alert regarding देखो, the auditor shall remain alert to the possibility that other audit procedures applied may bring instances of non-compliance or suspected non-compliance with laws and regulations to the auditor's attention. So the auditor must remain alert that audit procedures may bring instances of non-compliance. Fifth point and the last point. Let's understand that. Duty to obtain representation from the management. That's your last point. Duty to obtain representation from the management. Duty to obtain representation from the management. ध्यान देना इस point पे. The auditor shall request the management and where appropriate those charged with governance to provide written representation of all instances of non-compliance or suspected non-compliance with laws and regulations whose effect is to be considered in preparing the financial statements have been disclosed to the auditor. So obtain representation from the management that all non-compliances or suspected non-compliances have been disclosed to the auditor. Are you getting it? Very important exam question. What are the duties of the auditor according to SA 250? Right, now let's take one example and let's try and understand everything. So our notes are prepared. Now let's try and understand the entire question with the help of an example. देखो what will happen is, एक बार आपने जब मेरे साथ पढ़ा और नोट बना लिया, मतलब आपको पता है क्या क्या included है. Now we are trying to understand what is written over there with an easy example so that we understand everything. Right, अब ध्यान देना, मैं एक example लूंगा और वो एक example से हम पूरी story समझ के will try and understand what are actually the duties of the auditor. ध्यान देना, we all go to A Limited. Right, I'm putting the information over here. We go to A Limited. A Limited is a pharma company. Yeah, right, all your attention on my example. A Limited is a pharma company. It is a company whose shares are listed on stock exchange. It has to make all the regulations and it has a proper chartered accountant who is experienced with all the work. Now you have been appointed. You are the auditor. Tell me, what are your duties as the auditor? In respect of this company. What are your duties as the auditor in respect of this company? Okay, ध्यान देना. Duties of the auditor as per SA 250. सबसे पहले मेरी ड्यूटी ये है कि मैं ये समझूं कि इस कंपनी को कौन से लॉ और रेगुलेशन एप्लीकेबल है. ये भी समझना जरूरी है कि इनका एप्लीकेबल FRF फाइनेंशियल रिपोर्टिंग फ्रेमवर्क क्या है. और दूसरा ये भी समझना जरूरी है कि इनके अकाउंट्स डिपार्टमेंट को, इनके कंप्लायंसेस को कौन संभालता है. which means I need to know first the basic information about the company. तो सबसे पहले मैं समझता हूँ what is the entity's environment and I am obtaining information about the legal and regulatory framework. तो क्योंकि ये फार्मा कंपनी है और ये लिस्टेड कंपनी है, मुझे ये पता चल गया कि मुझे फार्मा कंपनी के रूल्स कंप्लाई करने पड़ेंगे, मुझे कंपनीज एक्ट 2013 कंप्लाई करना पड़ेगा और मुझे सेबी रेगुलेशंस कंप्लाई करने पड़ेंगे क्योंकि हम क्या है, लिस्टेड कंपनी. राइट, दिस इज स्टेप नंबर 1. Step number 1, duty number 1. obtain entities understanding, and obtain general understanding about three things. One, in like legal or regulatory framework, that is Companies Act, SEBI, and other regulations. What is the industry to it belongs? It belongs to the pharmaceutical industry. And third, who takes care how the organization is complying? They have a proper legal and accounts and finance department which is completely taking care of all the rules and regulations to be followed by this entity. So we have a proper legal department taking care of the entire compliance structure of the company. Are you getting it? That's your first step. Obtain understanding about the entity and general understanding about three things. क्या laws and regulations applicable है, हमारा legal framework क्या है, sorry, हाँ legal framework क्या है, मतलब कौन सी industry या sector को हम belong करते हैं, and third, how are we complying with the applicable financial reporting frame. Right, second duty. अब सबसे पहले हमको ये पता चल गया कि कंपनीज एक्ट हमको एप्लीकेबल है, सेबी हमको एप्लीकेबल है, और फार्मा कंपनी के रूल्स रेगुलेशंस हमको एप्लीकेबल है। मतलब ये तीन से कहीं पे भी छेड़खानी हुई तो डायरेक्टली हमारे ऑर्गेनाइजेशन पे इंपैक्ट पड़ेगा। आर यू अंडरस्टैंडिंग? अगेन आई एम रिपीटिंग फॉर यू, प्लीज पे अटेंशन। जैसे ही मुझे पता चला कि हमको कंपनीज एक्ट एप्लीकेबल है, सेबी एप्लीकेबल है, फार्मा कंपनी के रूल्स रेगुलेशंस एप्लीकेबल है, मुझे ये पता चल गया कि ये सारे वो रूल्स रेगुलेशंस है जिसका इम्पैक्ट डायरेक्टली हमारी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन पे, क्योंकि ये हमको डायरेक्टली एप्लीकेबल है। इनके साथ कहीं पे भी कोई मिसमैनेजमेंट हुआ, कहीं पे भी कोई छेड़खानी हुई तो हमारे ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को डायरेक्ट इम्पैक्ट करेगा। इसलिए बहुत जरूरी है कि मुझे ये चेक करना चाहिए कि ये सारे रूल्स रेगुलेशंस फॉलो हो रहे हैं या नहीं, ये सारे लॉस कंप्लाई हो रहे हैं या नहीं, and that is where I will obtain sufficient and appropriate audit evidence regarding all the rules and regulations that have a direct impact on the organization. Are you understanding? That's your second point. Duty to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence regarding laws and regulations that have direct impact on the organization. Are you getting it? मैं कंपनी में चल के गया, मुझे पता चला कि ये तीन रूल्स रेगुलेशंस एप्लीकेबल है, इनका प्रॉपर अकाउंट्स डिपार्टमेंट है, फाइनेंस डिपार्टमेंट है, लीगल डिपार्टमेंट है जो इन सब चीजों का ध्यान रखता है। कोई टेंशन नहीं है, सब अच्छे से चल रहा है, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, दूसरे स्टेप पे चलते हैं। अब क्योंकि ये तीन लॉ एप्लीकेबल है, ये डायरेक्ट इम्पैक्ट रखते हैं, अगर ये लॉ में कोई भी छेड़खानी हुई, कोई भी गलती हुई तो डायरेक्ट इम्पैक्ट होगा। So let's check and obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence whether we are complying with all the laws and regulations that have a direct impact on the financial statements of the entity. That's your second duty. Third duty, ध्यान देना, ड्यूटी टू परफॉर्म ऑडिट प्रोसीजर्स। मैंने सब मेन काम कर लिया, पर छोटी छोटी बातें भी कई बार हमें बड़ा इम्पैक्ट करती है। मान लो मैंने सब कुछ फॉलो किया लेकिन मैंने एक सेफ्टी नॉर्म फॉलो नहीं किया, और क्योंकि मैंने सेफ्टी नॉर्म फॉलो नहीं किया, फैक्ट्री में आग लग गई। फैक्ट्री में आग लग गई तो छोटी सी बात जिसका डायरेक्ट इम्पैक्ट नहीं था वो ऑटोमेटिकली मेरे लिए मटीरियल हो गई। इसलिए the auditor should also then perform procedures to take care of other laws and regulations. Which other laws and regulations? That can also affect the financial statements of the entity. राइट, मेरी फैक्ट्री है, सब कुछ ठीक है, लेकिन एक दिन हमारे एम्प्लॉयज ने ध्यान नहीं दिया, दो ड्रग मिक्स हो गए और फैक्ट्री में ब्लास्ट हो गया, और क्योंकि फैक्ट्री में ब्लास्ट हो गया, दो तीन एम्प्लॉय को लग गया, ऑटोमेटिकली मेरे फैक्ट्री पे क्वेश्चन आएगा, और क्योंकि मेरे फैक्ट्री पे क्वेश्चन आएगा, आई विल नॉट बी एबल टू इंश्योर whether we are whether our going concern will now be safe or not. Though it does not have a direct impact, it has some impact on the organization. Are you understanding? That is your third point. Duty to perform audit procedures regarding other laws and regulations that are applicable to us. Okay, now I'll take a couple of minutes of yours and I'll share one example with you. Please pay full attention to this. There is one petrol pump in Nizampura area. So if any one of you has goes by Nizampura area, you will see that there is one petrol pump in the Nizampura area. That petrol pump earlier had a CNG station. ध्यान देना. There was one petrol pump in the Nizampura area. That petrol pump in the Nizampura area had a CNG station. Because it has the CNG station, it had some laws and regulations directly applicable, which it was complying. One day, due to some other reasons, कोई बेसिक प्रॉब्लम नहीं था, ड्यू टू सम अदर रीजन सडनली देयर वाज अ ब्लास्ट एंड वन एम्प्लॉय died. This happened, trust me, this happened I think 8 years ago. This happened 8 years ago. Till today, they are not able to resume the CNG station. Till today, they are not able to resume the CNG station. Why? Because there was some other problem, some other law that they could not take care of. That some other law directly caused problem to the organization. Are you getting it? So it is the auditor's duty to ensure that other laws and regulations you are complying. Other laws and regulations कैसे comply किया जाता है? जो दो चीज से, एक आप मैनेजमेंट से सवाल पूछिए कि क्या आपने ये कंप्लायंस किया है, क्योंकि आपकी फार्मा कंपनी है, ये अलग अलग रूल्स भी आपको एप्लीकेबल है, क्या सारे रूल्स आपने फॉलो किए हैं? अगर वो कहते हैं हाँ हाँ हमने फॉलो किया है, हमने तो लाइसेंस वाइसेंस सब ले लिया है, तो उनको बोलो दिखाओ आपका लाइसेंस का है। वो आपको कहेंगे अभी हमने लाइसेंस अप्लाई किया है, लाइसेंस अंडर वे है, तो उनको बताओ कि दिखाओ आपने कौन सा लाइसेंस एप्लीकेशन फॉर्म भरा है। आपने एप्लीकेशन फॉर्म तो भरा होगा, तभी तो वो आपको लाइसेंस देंगे। योर एप्लीकेशन फॉर्म इज योर कॉरेस्पॉन्डेंस, योर कम्युनिकेशन विद द लाइसेंसिंग एंड रेगुलेटरी अथॉरिटी। तो आप उनको कहोगे कि आपने क्या क्या कम्युनिकेशन किया है, क्या क्या कॉरेस्पॉन्डेंसेस किए हैं, सब आप हमको प्रॉपरली दिखाओ, हम वो समझेंगे, देन वी विल डिसाइड वेदर यू आर complying with the other laws and regulations or not. So that petrol pump is still working, but the CNG station is now not allowed. Why? Because you did not comply with one small law. It may not have a direct impact on the organization, but it had indirect impact. It had other impact on the organization, which directly harmed the going concern of the organization. Are you clear with this? Okay, so first duty, obtain basic information. Second, obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence regarding direct compliance or regarding compliance with direct laws and regulations. And third, perform audit procedures for other law and regulation. Fourth point, always remain alert कि मुझे हर एक ऑडिट प्रोसीजर ढंग से करना है, क्योंकि हो सकता है कोई भी ऑडिट प्रोसीजर मुझे सीधा एक इंडिकेशन देगा कि नॉन कंप्लायंस हो रहा है, और जैसे ही नॉन कंप्लायंस हो रहा है मेरी ड्यूटी है दैट आई हैव टू रिस्पॉन्ड अप्रोप्रिएटली। मेरा ऑब्जेक्टिव है दैट आई मस्ट रिस्पॉन्ड अप्रोप्रिएटली टू suspected non-compliance or non-compliance in the organization. So every duty that I perform, every audit procedure that I am doing, I have to remain alert, क्योंकि हर ऑडिट प्रोसीजर मुझे इंडिकेशन दे सकता है कि हमारी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में नॉन कंप्लायंस हो रहा है। आर यू गेटिंग इट? सो इट इज द ऑडिटर्स ड्यूटी टू रिमेन अलर्ट एट एवरी पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम कि ऐसे कई सारे ऑडिट प्रोसीजर्स हो सकते हैं जो हमारे सामने नॉन कंप्लायंस लेके आएंगे कि देखो हमें आज ऑडिट एविडेंस मिला कि यहाँ पे नॉन कंप्लायंस हो रहा है। Are you getting it? So the auditor must perform every single audit procedure with great alert, with professional skepticism that there can be non-compliance, and if I perform this procedure properly, I will come to know about the non-compliance or the suspected non-compliance in the organization. And finally, the last audit evidence. I am not saying sufficient appropriate audit evidence. The last audit evidence that you have is obtaining written representation from the management. So management in this case gives you written representation कि जितने भी compliances है या जितने भी non compliances है, जितने भी हमको लगता है non compliances है, सब कुछ हमने ऑडिटर को दिखा दिया है, हमने कुछ भी ऑडिटर से छुपाया नहीं है। See, again I am repeating, written representation always comes at the end. Why? Because it is your last resort. It is not your sufficient appropriate audit evidence. It is only your audit evidence which should be checked at the very end. At the end you should check this. You should never check this at the beginning, because this is not sufficient appropriate audit evidence. आपके खुद के सारे procedures हो जाए तो last में what should you do? Obtain written representation from the management that all non-compliances or suspected non-compliances have been properly disclosed to the auditor. Are you understanding? Write quickly on your chat box. Are you all clear with this? Very important question this is. If you have any doubts, if you feel that you want me to repeat any topic, please do so. if you want me to repeat any topic, if you want me to explain a particular thing again, please tell me, but quickly on your chat box. Quickly on your chat box, everyone. Are you clear with this? पूरा example मेरा समझ में आया? Right, again, since it is very important, I'm taking the pain to ask you. Akshay, Aman, Aksa, Bhavin, Dipesh, Dhara, Digesh, Tulsi, Harshita, Het, Ishita, Jalpan, Kajal, are you all clear with this? Khushi, Maharashi, Manav, Mayur, Nidhi, Nikita, Nirma, Om, Pavan, Pushti, Raj, Rohan, Sami, Samira, Shifa, Shreyas, Siddharth, Simran, Spruha, Shrushti, Ved, Yash, and Zaid. Are you all absolutely clear with this? Any doubts? Okay, perfect, excellent. Now, since everyone is clear with whatever we have done, please ensure you revise the entire standard on auditing, whatever we have done in 250 today, and come back to me with doubts. I'll see you now tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock with accounting standard 12. Make sure that you have revised everything. We will go one level ahead tomorrow in AS 12, and also ensure that you have revised 250 thoroughly so that we can proceed with the next part of the standard. Please ensure you're making notes thoroughly with me, because making notes is very important. So please make sure that you are understanding each and every topic correctly, and you have made proper notes. Fine. Thank you so much for attending, and now I'll see you tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. Thank you.